Welcome to SisterMatch Mentoring Program Informational Session. Hi, everyone. Hi, hello, hello, hello. I am so excited to have you here and thankful to you for taking time out of your evening to learn more about Sister Match, to learn more about how you can best support our mentees, to learn more about your fit and your background as it relates to you being a mentor, you learning more about sisterhood and success, and just what this does to providing a sense of closeness and alignment for Black women. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome again. Welcome to our session. And before I can even get into Sister Match, I have to uh, go back to the beginning. And the beginning is Sisterhood and Success, Inc. Sister Match is a result of Sisterhood and Success, Inc., which is a registered nonprofit where we best support Black women navigating toxic workplaces. And in that, we find professional development is needed, personal development is needed, and mentorship, which kind of is a combination of the two, is needed. And that's where Sister Match comes in at. Sister Match resulted from um, a need and no one being able to provide the need. And for me, when I was coming up personally, I didn't have any mentors who helped kind of navigate the landscape, if you will, of what it is to work in a professional space or what it means to navigate some of these day to day pieces of working in an office, whether it's etiquette, whether it's, time management, how to, file a complaint, how to document those things that really help support us when we're faced with some, real life, but very normal events, which all seem to be something that Black women have experienced, regardless of what your background is, how old you are, how many degrees you have. We all have that same experience of knowing this is only happening because I'm Black. This is only happening because I'm a Black woman. So I wanted to really provide some resources and support because we are the fastest growing demographic in the workplace. And with that, that means we're going to have more women experiencing some of the unfortunate things that we've all experienced. So Sisterhood and Success, that is our headquarters, if you will, and Sister Match is a umbrella under the Sisterhood and Success umbrella. Why Sister Match? Um, like I shared, Sister Match really came out of a need, a need where I envisioned myself when I was getting ready to graduate from undergrad and being clueless to what I was going to learn on the job. And to be honest, my first encounter around professional development from a real life standpoint came from a white man. Now, I had, Black women who were supervising me or who were monitoring me or whatever, managing me, whatever their role was. But the feedback that he gave me, I'm like, if he saw this, they saw it. And if they saw it, why didn't they pull me to aside and say, hey, or you know what I mean? So I'm like, we need to have something where someone can give us some of these tools before we start venturing into um, the workforce. Some of this we're going to talk about in a very conversational way. So if it seems like things are being repeated or, oh, we already talked about this, just know that a lot of the information is going to be conversational. It won't be so structured, but I do have slides to keep me on track because as you can see, I can talk. Um, what is Sister Match? Sister Match is a one-on-one mentorship program. We match mentors with mentees who may have similar educational backgrounds or similar career backgrounds. So you can be matched with a student who's getting ready to graduate. She's in her last year of undergrad. She's going into dentistry. I don't know, general dentistry. And you are a dentist, or you're a dentist and you have your own general dentist practice. That would be a match. You can also have someone who um, is, going into a new promotion, and the promotion is a leadership role, and they've been working for a few years, but they haven't had any leadership, and they need some tools around effective leadership, around communication, and how to have employee recognition, and those different pieces that make a leader a great leader. We would match you with someone who may be an executive, professional, who can talk to you about, this is how you show up for your team. This is how you represent yourself. This is how you communicate. This is how you get your team to buy in to getting them to do the thing that you need them to do. So the match can look a little different for each mentor and mentee. However, it's going to align with some sort of background similarities, built on intentional affirming connections. We're not going to just haphazardly match the mentors and mentees. We're not going to just say this is what we're doing, but in reality we're not aligned with what we're saying we're doing. So there is nothing but intention around the connections that you'll have. And to be honest, let's say something's not a good fit. Life is life, right? We will rematch for both the mentor and the mentee. So you're not stuck with someone where it just isn't a good fit. Um, but the entire purpose of having Sister Match is built on the intention of it being an affirming connection. Sister Match fosters personal and professional growth, like I shared previously, career development, personal development. A lot of times when you are in these spaces, these supportive spaces, a lot of times they intertwine, the lines are blurred. It's not an expectation to talk about anything personal or to, whatever you feel comfortable with, the space is provided for you to share or to, whatever you need. That's what Sister Match is. Um, and it's for Black women across different industries and generations. So, like I said, you can have someone who is in their last year of college. You can have someone who has already been in the workforce for a few years and they're moving into a leadership role. You can have someone who's been, I don't know, a dentist for the last 5 years. You could have someone who's been an executive professional for the last 20 years. It really just depends. But we're going to have a good mix where we are, like I said, matching intentionally. We're not just throwing mentors and mentees, together haphazardly. Our goals. Our goals are to build meaningful sisterhood connections, provide accountability and encouragement, support career development and wellness, and create a safe space for learning and leadership. So, like I said, a lot of this is going to just be discussed just because this is a conversational, informational session. But yes, the goal is to have people who you can stay in contact with, have people who can be in your, I'm old school, Rolodex. Somebody who you can call 5 years from now, somebody who you can reach out to, even if you guys are no longer in the Sister Match mentoring program. So I want meaningful, long lasting connections, someone who can, um, refer you or be a part of your, networking. That's what this is all about. Provide accountability and encouragement. Hey, sometimes we need someone to give it to us straight. Now, we won't have anyone that's disrespectful or rude or belittling or anything like that, but sometimes we need to hear the truth. And the truth can be, you need to get to work on time. The reason why you're having these issues isn't because you're, having microaggressions in the workplace. It's because you won't get to work at 9 o'clock. So that's accountability. The encouragement piece to it is, hey, if you do the right thing, more than likely you're going to get the results of not feeling pressured or not feeling you're being watched or having to get written up or what have you. So the accountability is through honesty, but also encouraging you to um, be accountable in order for you to see a real change, in order for you to see a tangible change and something that you can control and that you are responsible for. So that's what that means. Support career development and wellness. A lot of times people don't realize that just because you have a new job, that doesn't necessarily make everything better, right? In my early years, I would do a lot of lateral um, movement around different positions. So I may go to one agency that I did this in, then I'm now at another agency, and it was still some things that were happening that, like my father would always say, everybody not lying. So if I'm having similar issues in different spaces, what's the common denominator? Me. So I realized that I had to incorporate some internal work, which is a lot of times for us talking to a therapist, a lot of times being in supportive spaces where we can share and be vulnerable. Once I implemented that, a lot of the things that I was seeing, I was able to identify and deal with it accordingly, or it just stopped happening because I was the person responsible for it. So, yes, we want to have career development around professionalism and, you know, communication and how you show up and all those things. Also, wellness is a very important part to how you show up, how you have time management, how you have assignment management, all those different pieces. You can't do anything if you're struggling with some internal issues. You know, you're going to keep having the same thing happen over and over and over again until you spin out and burn out. Also, creating a safe space for learning and leadership. For me, when you are new to the workforce or new to a new role, most of it is learning. Most of it is you're going to forever be a student. And when you go into anything, always go in as a student. Never go in being a teacher because you're that's just a huge mistake. So always go into something new knowing that I am the student, right? Um, the best students make the best leaders because leaders aren't there because back in the day, you became a leader because you were at the job for 10 years and everybody else was at the job for 3 years. Those leaders oftentimes didn't have the spirit of being a student. So they would talk to you crazy, they would do toxic things, they would make it unbearable just because they were there 8 years longer than you, right? When you are open to learning, it allows you to be more collaborative. It allows you to have active listening. It allows you to see your employees as people and not bodies. And that makes you an effective leader. So, our goal is to give you all of these pieces as a way to make you successful. Who is it for? Dun 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 dun. Sister Match is for Black women, primarily ages 21 to 35, seeking guidance, clarity, and community. Now, it that is so open ended, but it's really trying to hit all of the pieces that allow us to be whole, if that makes sense. So you need guidance as you navigate these new spaces. You need clarity so you can understand it and be able to implement it. And you need community as a way to have support and people rallying around you or behind you. So It's for mentees, Black women ages 20 to 35. The mentors are Black women ages 30 plus, ready to give back and grow and bring lived leadership or professional experience. So, like I shared earlier, the mentors are going to have some lived experience. You can't impart guidance if you yourself haven't had um, guidance, or you yourself haven't experienced certain situations. You know what I mean? You have to have some level of experience where you can actually be of help. So, unfortunately, no, we're not going to match a 19-year-old mentee with a 20-year-old mentor. You know what I mean? Because obviously, that's not part of the guidelines, but also what we can all learn from each other peer to peer, but this is not a peer to peer program. This is a mentee mentor program, mentor mentee program. So we want women who can actually give back and be effective and have connections and have some grounding. We want mentors who actually have the time. And to be honest, one of the things that I don't want to say stipulated, but it's really connecting once a month. I honestly believe once we start matching, you're going to be in you're going to have frequent communication with your mentor. You just are. The mentees, they are going to be asking questions, or, hey, do you think, what do you think about this, or this thing happened? You know what I mean? We want them to be self-sufficient, the mentees, but we also know, there are going to be questions. So, whether it's up to the mentor and mentee on how you want the connection in a relationship to be. So if you want to check in once a week, that's amazing. If you want to check in once a week virtually or over the phone or over text, and then in person every 30 days, it's up to you. But it is going to require um, time as a way to be an effective mentor. And like I said, you have to have some, lived or professional experience. You can't just be like, hey, and, you know, are unable to do anything. How it works. So most of you guys are here because you saw the program, the SisterMatch informational session on Eventbrite. I may have posted it and you saw it on social media or on Volunteer Match. So that's the real first step. But you apply online. So after you go through this informational session, you apply online with your goals and your background. Um, your personalized matching will be based on just your interest and vibe, because you can have similar. And I didn't say this yet. You can have similar backgrounds, but y'all also have to vibe. It can't be someone who's like super talkative, outgoing, and their mentor is like one worded. First of all, we can't have mentors on one word, but we understand people have different personalities. So we get if you're not super talkative, but you can't be pulling teeth from your mentor or your mentee. So it has to be some type of a vibe where it's like, okay, you guys actually, get along. The energy is good. A 6-month commitment. Things happen. Sometimes we sign up for something and we realize, I can't because my job changed. So now my schedule is this, or, you know, my kid has this after school thing, or this, whatever. Life happens. But for the most part, we want a 6-month commitment. One check-in per month minimum. Like I just shared, you guys can make it how you want to make it, but having some type of contact once a month is needed in order to keep the connection there. Um, have some resources and just something where you can be able to provide some type of a guidance as it relates to your background. You who that if I don't know the answer, I can find the answer, though, that type of thing. um and I mean I have monthly themes. I want it to be collaborative. I've never been the type of person who's like my way or no way. So some of these pieces are um mendable, So if we want to have a monthly theme, one month could be, time management And that whole month can be around how you show up on time, how you get your projects in time, completing in time, those things. Virtual community events and check-ins. I would love I would love if everyone was local to the Philadelphia or Delaware Valley area. However, I know that's not what we're doing in 2025, right? So if it has to be some virtual mentees and mentors, that's fine. We just have to, get creative around events and things like that. What you'll gain: confidence and clarity in your journey, a deeper sense of purpose and community, networking and meaningful growth opportunities, lifelong connections rooted in shared experience. So like I said, this isn't like a hit it and quit it type thing. Like we want you, around for the long run. And that's why intention is the driving force with Sister Match, because we want to have deep connections. We want to have rooted, in shared experiences. We want to be able to say, hey, you remember Miss Rachel? Yeah, I spoke to her. It's been 5 years. And she still is helping me, because this person is hiring, or this person is doing a workshop, or this person, you know what I mean? So this isn't something where it's like, well, my time is over, unless that's really just the time that you can commit and you're on to, other things. But we really want this to be something that will allow the connection to remain, even if you're no longer mentoring the mentee, because you'll have different mentees, you know, and the mentees may have different mentors depending on what they need mentorship in. But I really wanted this to be something that is added to the person's village. How to join: apply at www.sisterhoodandsuccess.org/sistermatch. If you have questions, you can email me at silverrights at sisterhoodandsuccessinc.org, or follow me on my socials at Black Girl Exact. If you have questions, same thing. You can reach out to my email, silverrights at sisterhoodandsuccessinc.org, or you can DM me, at Black Girl Exact, and or you can contact me just through the website sisterhoodandsuccess.org /sister match. So that's how you join. You can text me. You can also call me, as well. But all that information would be on my website. Closing and Q&A. Obviously, this is a recorded informational session, so it's not interactive. But I just want to end by saying, when women support each other, incredible things happen. If you have questions after this, please email me, DM me, or you can contact me on the website. And thank you for being here and showing up for Sisterhood. This is going to be something that is going to take off. And a lot of times we don't realize that these quote unquote smaller things, um, because they're so needed, we take, for granted the value in sisterhood, the value in mentorship, the value in connection. So if you're a part of this, just know you're getting ready to be a part of something that's going to grow. And I really want you to be a part of that. Thank you so much.